What is up, guys? This is David from Bronx Banter coming at you with another episode. First of all, I know it's been a little bit, but I was, away for the holidays, spending time with my family, my in-laws, and I hope you guys got to do the same, whether you guys celebrate a holiday or not. I'm praying that you guys had an incredible New Year, an incredible holiday season, just an incredible last few couple of weeks, and that it was a good year. And if it wasn't a good year, or if it was a good year, I do believe, hope, and pray that this upcoming year, this current year that we're in, 2025, is an even better one. And I'm also hoping and praying that it's a better one for the Yankees. Right now, it's been looking like it is probably going to be a better one. I'm pretty optimistic about it, and especially if we make a move for this player that we're going to talk about today, it absolutely is going to be a better one. And I'm very, very excited for the news that has been coming out per Jeff Passan, the GOAT, the one, the only Jeff Passan. Anything that he says, if you're a Yankee fan or just a baseball fan, you have to perk your ears up and listen because he usually is, or typically always is, on the nose about not necessarily what will happen, but what is currently happening. So, really, if Jeff Passan says it, it's a fact that as of per Jeff Passan, said Jeff Passan way too many times in the last 30 seconds. Per Jeff Passan, the Yankees had discussions and interest for Luis Arraez with the Padres. So it's not just the Yankees have interest, but the Yankees have had discussions already with the Padres for Luis Arraez. And there is real interest there. There also is another guy with another team that the Yankees have had interest and discussions for, and that's Gavin Lux. I may talk about him in another episode if that becomes more of a reality as well. But to me, what's most interesting to talk about is Luis Arraez. One, because of his incredible skill set, his talent, his incredible contact ability. Also, some pulverizing opinions that have been stirring up with his lack of ability to play defense, his lack of ability to have any sort of power. I'm kind of going to break that all down, kind of adjust what my opinions are. Should the Yankees go after him? Should we not? He is a two or three-time batting champion. He is for sure a three-time All-Star within recent years. So he is definitely a player that I feel like any team would or should have interest in. And my take is, especially the Yankees. So not to get too ahead of myself, but again, Luis Arraez has hit over like 300 the last three seasons, or has over 200 hits or 200 or more hits the last two seasons. Excuse me. But a lot of you guys, if you guys follow baseball to any degree, you probably have heard of him or known about his incredible skill set. But so, again, some concerns are defense, some concerns are his lack of power, and he's been traded around. Not that I feel like that's an issue. I think he's an incredible player. But with this being brought to our attention, it is interesting because the Yankees have expressed that they wanted to improve defensively and that in defense and pitching has been a focus. And we've seen it so far this offseason. But then we're going to go after someone that has a history of having a lackluster defensive ability, whether that's at first base because he's played some first base or at second base. He's even been considered a DH as of recently because just how rough his defensive abilities are, yet how good his offensive abilities are. And some people think that, hey, if we are interested in getting an offensive first player at second base and taking a hit defensively at second base, why did we ever get rid of Gleyber? Gleyber has shown that he could produce not just offensively in general, but with good power. He's come in clutch in the postseason and just performed great as a leadoff hitter and late in the season and into the postseason. Why did we not go for someone like Gleyber? Well, that's a great question. I don't personally know. I would have been okay with someone either like Gleyber or Luis Arraez, but clearly the Yankees see some more interest in Luis Arraez. One thing I do want to break down is that they're not created equal defensively. One, Luis Arraez has more versatility defensively, though it's not huge versatility, and that versatility is only so good when you're not great defensively in general. But he does have some defensive versatility. Second of all, his contact bat is something that I think speaks more volume than just getting someone that can also hit, you know, maybe only 250, but gets you 20 home runs. I think on this roster, the ability to have someone that can hit well over 300 and could be such a good table setter, rally starter, contact hitter, whatever you want to call him, as in someone like Luis Arraez, I feel like is not just valuable on any team, but is immensely valuable on a team like the Yankees that has incredible sluggers like Judge, Stanton. To have that versatility in Luis Arraez to just be strictly a contact hitter, we don't need much more slug on our roster. And with someone even like Paul Goldschmidt that could probably get you 20 plus home runs as well, and hit for a decent average. Again, I think it's even more so important to have not just a lefty bat such as Luis Arraez, but a lefty bat that can hit with immense contact. So, and puts the ball in play. And I don't know where his speed is at. I think he's kind of on the slower end, similarly to Gleyber. But going back to defensively, if you want to compare him to Gleyber, his fielding percentage is actually significantly higher than Gleyber. Now, I know there's a few things to consider with that. One, Gleyber has uh, played many more innings than Luis Arraez in defensively because Luis Arraez has been DH as of late in his career. But another thing to consider is that the reason why Luis Arraez ranks typically so low defensively is not necessarily because of his fielding percentage, which isn't that great, but is really because of his range. He does not have great range. Gleyber has, though he does have very low fielding percentage, has solid range, I think, actually, in that position. I never had issues with Gleyber getting to baseballs. My issue has always been Gleyber cleanly fielding the baseball. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword in both aspects, where one has more range than the other, but the other one can percentage-wise, statistically, field the ball more consistently when it is in front of them or when it is reachable for them. So it's kind of like pick your poison. Not sure what you want, but the poison that I'd pick, honestly, is the poison. I probably don't want any poison, you don't want to die, but the choice that I would pick is the one that's available. And right now that's Luis Arraez, and also is a guy that has incredible contact. And my thing is it's not just about a baseball team is not just about building a team that is full of all stars, full of MVP players, or anything like that, or full of sluggers. But if anything is, or even full of contact hitters, it's about building a team that is balanced and that has versatility, that gives pitchers different looks. And Luis Arraez on our team, like I've kind of expressed before, having a contact back like that absolutely gives this team a different look, gives pitchers a different look, and makes it more difficult to pitch around someone like Luis Arraez, then Cody Bell, not in no order, Cody Bellinger, Aaron Judge, Stanton, Jazz, Wells when he's on is incredible. So, and there's many other names that I haven't mentioned as well. So, again, I think in terms of what this Yankee current constructed Yankee team needs, I do think the Yankees need more of a Luis Arraez type of player than a Gleyber Torres type of player. And really, what's available out there, Luis Arraez is I would consider realistically is our best option. Now, obviously, there's way better second basemen in general, but they're not available. And again, for what I believe Luis Arraez can provide for this Yankees roster, he's a great option. I have no complaints, and honestly, no one should really be complaining because what else are you gonna do? Bregman, I'd rather have Luis Arraez than Bregman, not because I think Luis Arraez is better than Bregman, but again, in terms of what this Yankee team needs, it would be great to have a Gold Glove level third baseman, but he has regressed offensively, and his offensive production is projected to perform even worse on a field like Yankee Stadium. So and again, it's going to require millions of dollars, many millions of dollars for many years. Where Luis Arraez is only a 1 year commitment. He's a free agent after this year. Um, and it's one of those things that if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. We let him walk. If there is any concerns with his defense in the postseason, we could defensive substitute for him at any point in the game, or especially when we're up. I definitely think it can happen. I definitely think it should happen. Now, what will it take to make it happen? So the little bit of excuse me, the little bit of research that I've done on the Padres, and if there's any Padres fans, let me know. Correct me, please. From my knowledge, the Padres are in need. Every team needs starting pitching, so I would assume the Padres probably have some needs there, some infield support because Hong Sang Kim is indeed a free agent. We don't know where he's going to land. On top of that, uh, they have someone like Donovan Solano that I believe is removed from the team, which I know he wasn't necessarily a cornerstone piece for the team. He was only a 1 year deal. But that's one less infielder as well, one less DH infielder. Um, Bogarts is really your only other option in the middle infield, I believe. And even then, he's had some injury history, so we don't know where that, how comfortable the Padres are with their infield situation. So the Yankees could easily load someone off like Peraza, which has incredible, at minimum, has Gold Glove level defense, and upside has great offensive ability and power. And I think he could be great. And I hate to say it, but would look great in a Padres uniform. Um, some other names I believe that could possibly be of need for the Padres, though has very little trade value, I believe, as of right now, is someone like Everson Pereira. But again, very little trade value. He's only getting older, and the only reason why I say that's an option is because they still have an outfield need because they haven't signed someone like Profar, which they could still go and sign. But with the Padres' spending habits seemingly being that they want to release some money, I can see a world where they may not sign Profar, even though I thought Profar would be great for them as a re-sign. So, but again, I don't think Everson Pereira will get the deal done. Maybe both Pereira and Peraza. But to be realistic, some names that I think the that have been put out there, and I'm saying and is not reported, but I don't know who wouldn't want someone like this is Spencer Jones. He has regressed in terms of being a top prospect. He has struggled with his K rate, though there is still a lot of upside with him. Um, his value has gone down. Just being quite frank, I'm not saying his value is non-existent, but it has definitely gone down to what it once was. And there's maybe a time to cash in and trade him off, especially when we got someone that we believe in, such as Jason Dominguez. I know we only have Cody Bellinger for 1 year or 2 years, I think. We have someone like Judge. We may want to get him out of the infield at some point. I don't know. But our outfield situation, and then we still have Trent Grisham, which, regardless whether you like him or not offensively, he still is a viable option and a great defender. So there seems to be a logjam out there in the outfield where Spencer Jones is expendable, especially if we're trying to go all in this year. It's just whether or not he's a worthwhile trade to give off for Luis Arraez. Now, I don't think it would be a 1-for-1. I would think and hope that the Yankees will maybe try to get something a little bit more along with Spencer Jones. Seeing all the years of control that he does have, and seeing that we only have Luis Arraez for 1 year. Again, I don't love giving him trading him away, but I have no doubt that that's in discussion and that the Padres have interest. Another name out there that I would not be surprised that the Padres have interest in is someone like Cabrera, Oswaldo Cabrera, which I don't want to get rid of, but he has incredible defensive versatility. He plays not only the outfield position that they would need to fill in, he also plays infield positions that they need to fill in as well. He has shown glimpses of incredible, not like MVP level, but very strong, above league average, reliable offensive capabilities. Where I think that he could fit great on a team like the Pod. Excuse me, he would fit great on the team like the Padres. So I would not be surprised if a deal gets done with any one of those names. Maybe another starting pitcher, relief pitcher. Not sure if they want to give off someone like Clayton Beeter. They may do something like they did with Caleb Durbin, where they were speaking so highly of Caleb Durbin, saying he was going to be our everyday second baseman, and then they traded him off. And then they have been speaking highly of Clayton Beeter, saying that they do expect him to be a huge piece in our bullpen and in our starting rotation, or just in our pitching staff in general this year. Maybe they're trying to do that same thing, building up his value with Clayton Beeter and then trading him off as well, which I would also be okay with. Maybe we could trade someone like Clayton Beeter or Will Warren, along with an infield position player like Peraza or Everson Pereira, or I'd be okay with Peraza, and one of the two, Warren or Beater. Maybe not Beater. If we're gonna give away three, maybe we'll just give away Warren instead. I don't know. Again, I'm just pulling things out of my head off the top of my head. I don't know where that value kind of sits, but we're clearly in a win now mode. Yankees are always in a win now mode. We've gotten a bunch of players on a 1 year deal. We've tasted and seen how close we were to the World Series. I think we could really cash in and get even closer to the World Series with this acquisition. And honestly, if we could get this Luis Arraez player, maybe with one more bullpen acquisition in Tim Hill and or Andrew Chafin or Tommy Kahnle, bringing two of those three onto our roster, I think we're almost set, honestly. And I feel very confident in our odds and go into the World Series again. So let me know what you guys think. I know this is a very long video, but it's been a while since I've talked to you guys. So again, let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Do you want him? Do you not want him? What is that trade package going to look like? Do we want someone else like Gavin Lux? That's also been in conversation. Let me know what you guys think. And as always, peace and be blessed.